So there we go. Has what we needed. Okay. All right. So I will call the Finance Committee meeting to order at 5:34 p.m. for January 26, 2026.
Call the select board to order at 5:34 p.m. as well.
All righty. Let's start with reviewing minutes. Jim, do you want to do the one from 2 times ago?
Oh, good heavens. Y'all didn't do that one? All right. Gosh, let me open that up. Um, Hang on. So that would be the one from December. Gosh, what was the date of that one? Do you remember?
I don't. Do you want to just hold off till next meeting
Well,
to
hang
do
on.
that one?
I'm sure I can find it, but if you wish to make a motion about the more recent ones first, that would probably.
Okay. Why don't we do the ones from last week that Margaret sent?
Motion to approve as amended.
We
Second.
have a second. So I feel like I'm being very nitpicky, and y'all can disagree with me all you want to. I was having, maybe it's just my frustration. There were dollar values presented for the using the current town hall as a senior center. The dollar values were from a fairly quick estimate to make it everything it could be. And I'm interested in also hearing an estimate for what's the bare bones requirements to go in there, so that we have a comparison. And that's why I did the line out thing. What is written in what in the minutes, the original minutes, is what was presented, so we can stick with that if you want to. Anybody have any thoughts on that?
I actually do. I obviously wrote what
Right.
was presented. That's all.
Yeah.
But I don't disagree with you. I do have a question though.
Mhm.
If the cost renovations for 8 Conway Road are not known at this point, when will they be known?
Kim, do you have a feel for that? There's supposed to be being a bare bones estimate put together,
Christopher is prepared to answer that question.
Yeah, sure. So Chris Wanty from EDM Studio, I know, has said they're working on it. They said early February is when we could expect something. So I'll follow up with them next week and we'll see where they're at with the study.
So then my next question would be, where did those numbers come from then? There was a lot of talk about the $5 million, but where did it come from?
EDM Studio. Go ahead, Christopher. You can answer better than I
Yeah,
can.
just gonna say, so they did a high level look at 8 Conway Street. They did not take a look at it in the same way that they looked at 112 Amherst Road, where there was kind of a bare minimum we need to make this a senior center option, and then the kind of everything we need to do to make it our dream senior center. So we kind of just got the dream scenario, and as expected, it was pricey. So they're now kind of going back and looking, what ADA improvements, what HVAC stuff do you need to do to make the building usable in the shorter term as the senior center.
Okay. All right. So Julie, the only little, I'd say little, it's not grammatical. Where is it? There's a sentence here that we just have a little redundancy, where it says, according to the presentation, the estimated annual tax bill impact would be $50. We should either keep annual or per year. It's just redundant. I guess I'm being Jim for a minute here. I'll take out annual. How's that?
All right.
Got it. Okay. And I'll send this
further
out after the meeting.
discussion?
Okay. Just out of curiosity, who seconded that motion?
I think
I
John
did.
did.
John did.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any further discussion? So we have a motion to approve the minutes as amended. So I'm gonna do a roll call vote. Julie Chalfant, aye. James Cambius,
Abstain.
John Pereski,
Approve.
Beth Brown,
Beth Brown, aye.
Mark Brennan,
Mark Brennan abstain.
Margaret Nardowitz.
Margaret Nardowitz, aye.
All right, that's approved. And I did not count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 402. Is that where we ended up with that? Okay. Jim, were you able to come up with another set of
Yes.
minutes, or should we?
I move that we accept the minutes of the meeting of October 24th. That's the last
We have a
one I
second?
have. Also, the shortest meeting we ever conducted.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion? All right, roll call vote. Jim,
James Cambias, aye.
John,
John Pereski, aye.
Beth,
Beth Brown, abstain.
Mark,
Mark Brennan abstain.
Margaret,
Margaret Nardowitz, aye.
Julie Chalfant, aye. That is also 402, I think. Okay. Next up is reviewing the financial reports. You're still waiting on one person, right, Chris?
Yes, I'm still waiting on one person.
Okay, good. All right. Financial reports from December. Anybody have any questions or comments? John, you usually have questions, right? Do you have anything?
I do.
Good.
Bear with me. Been a while. The recreation activities account 630-5410. Looks like we spent all the money, but it's only 6 months of the year. The fiscal year, so
Yeah, I can speak to that if,
Go ahead.
or Holly, you're welcome to as well.
Either way.
I'll just speak to it then. Yeah, so when we hired a new recreation director, we transitioned to a part-time position. So there's just not, the budget going into FY26 was, I think more than twice what was necessary. And so actually at special town meeting, we made a transfer out of that account to help support the group health insurance costs. And we've taken a look at it, and there should definitely be sufficient funds to, continue to pay Gabby and the awesome job she's doing as rec director. So we should be good there. But yeah, that's the story behind that one.
where are those funds going to come from?
I'm sorry, which funds? To pay for the rec director? Like I said,
Well, it says expenses. Is that the way for the director, or is it for other stuff?
I'd have to, Holly, I don't know if you know off the top of your head if Gabby has a separate line item for her salary, or if it's all just rec expenses.
It is a separate item.
Okay.
Which John, what's the number on that one?
630-5410.
What you're looking at right
Oh, okay.
here.
I'm sorry. It's the
Expenses is 37.
It's the line below that is the salary. Under 634 is Gabby's salary. Originally was budgeted at 70,000. There's an adjustment of 30,000. There's 33 left. The one above that you're looking at the 37,000, John?
Mhm.
Yes.
That I'm gonna have to look. That's not the regular rec director salary. The rec director salary is on the next line down.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about the salary. I'm more concerned with the the line above the salary.
Let me take a quick peek at that, but that's not, so all of her expenses run through the revolving fund. So all of the, sports, like, right now we're right in the midst of basketball. That's all running through the revolving fund. It doesn't have anything to do with the general fund. Those expenses are. Let me look at what that there is. Just give me a couple minutes.
Looks like it's Tri-Town.
Yeah, I think that the one above that is the. Yes, you're absolutely right. That is Tri-Town. That is Tri-Town above. Below is just the rec director's salary. So that's 37,835 is like our assessment that's already spent. And then they have a $6,000 budget that they've spent about half of at this point. Just under half.
What's the third? I'm sorry,
Oh,
you
it's
lost
so
me. What's the 37,835 for? Is that for Tri-Town?
Yes, I believe that's our assessment for Tri-Town.
Oh, okay. Then I withdraw my question. Oh, you answered it.
Any other questions?
I just have a couple. There are a couple of accounts in the general fund expenditure report that are overexpended. They're not huge amounts. But I guess my question is, I don't know what my question is. My question is, my concern is that it's a concern, that there are accounts that have been overexpended. The first is the CPA open space account. The second is general insurance, which I'm sure, I assume anyway, the premium was higher than we anticipated, correct? So, Holly, how will we close the gaps in these and try to prevent the overexpenditure of account lines moving forward?
Well, good question. Yes, we are very well aware that the insurance is overspent, and I know that Christopher is working with our insurance company to get some savings in the next fiscal year, get some more credits for different trainings and meetings and things that we attend as a town. I also believe, and Christopher, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the reason that was overspent had something to do with one of the construction projects, I believe, that we overspent in 2026. The open space just has a very, very small budget. And I believe at this point, I'll have to go back and double check what those expenditures were. But I think that a lot of folks are going to have trouble this year is because of the cost of postage has gone up so much. And that's pretty much all a lot of these smaller committees do is do some mailings, pay for some postage, do different things. So that is one that we're going to have to look at carefully in the coming fiscal year is the increase in the cost of postage for most departments.
Would you typically let these sit and wait until closer to the end of the fiscal year and do interdepartmental fund balances, or would you want to close them out earlier?
No, I would likely let them sit.
Okay.
Especially the open space one. It's over by $65 at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about that one until the end.
Yeah.
Insurance we may deal with a little bit earlier. But we also just need to make sure that all of our insurance bills are paid for the year as well, so that we don't have to do it twice. So
yeah. Okay.
there are some small, for different changes that happen throughout the year, we do have some small bills. I believe we have a credit right now. So there's a couple of bills, I think one bill that needs to be paid and a couple of credits that we have. So it actually may even reduce that slightly.
All right. Thanks, Holly. And I'll let John take a turn. I have one on another sheet.
I don't remember account 315 5800. It's Frontier Transportation Capital Expenses. What are the capital expenses?
I believe that is it's just the code that's used. I believe that is just the transportation costs. Let me double check.
Yeah. I think that is true. It's just the
Just the
transportation costs.
assessment,
Yeah.
22, 280. Yeah, that's just the Frontier Regional's transportation costs. I know it says capital. It's just,
Capital's a misnomer.
yeah, a lot of them are labeled capital.
Since I have the floor, I have one other question. It's on the statement of change in fund balance. Can I ask that now? Or do you want to finish going over the expenditures? Pardon?
Go ahead.
Fund 210 Mass Highway Funds. It looks like we've spent $100,000 more than we expected to get. Are we expecting to get that negative
Yeah,
amount?
so all of the mass highway funds are typically, the vast majority of them are typically reimbursable. So we have to spend the money, and then we have to submit all the information and cancel checks and copies of invoices and all of the information to get reimbursed. So there are likely just some projects that are waiting on reimbursements. We will definitely get that back.
So they always approve it?
Yeah.
Yes. I can't say always, but most of the time, yes.
Thank
And
you.
you know in advance how much they've allocated to us, right? And,
Mhm.
and then we spend up to.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have an annual allocation.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then
Tim,
Yeah,
Tim, and then Margaret.
I just wanted to follow up on the CPA open space. So open space, I mean, CPA, they have an administrative fund that has like $15,000 in it. Does this money come from the CPA itself, or is this something that's provided to them as a committee? And would that be a place where we could get the $65 when we do it? Because the CPA typically doesn't spend their administrative funds.
Right. I don't actually think that CPA label is correct. This is just simply the open space committee. I don't think that linking that to CPA is accurate.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe that's just going to be a reclass. I think this had to do with one of the Article 97 designations and getting it recorded with the registry. So I think I had been talking with Amy and Holly about what to reclass it as, because it's not necessarily the open space committee's expense.
Thanks.
Okay,
Margaret.
I just want to call out the fact that school choice is showing with a balance of over $1.3 million, the school choice balance. So just something to keep in mind for future discussions. And I guess my other question is, I mean, there are a lot of accounts here showing negative ending balances. Holly, do you have any concerns about any of the fund balances, the negative fund balances? Do you anticipate that there won't be funds to replenish these funds to zero them out, and we'll have to take other measures to get these zeroed out?
No, everything that I am looking at right now, just quickly, are reimbursable grants.
Okay.
Most grants are reimbursable. So the police detail revolving fund, that always goes into the negative, and we'll get that money back. EMS revolving, we'll get those paid. PVTA grant fund is an active grant with the senior center task force grant, active grant that we continually get monthly reimbursements on. Yeah, these are all grant funds that are pretty typically, we're working on the Green Communities grant reimbursement right now. The MVP grant reimbursement, I'm sure there will not be a problem. Yeah, these are all just typical grants and reimbursements that just need to come in, just timing. don't see anything I would be concerned with not getting the money on.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions on reports? No. So the other thing we have to do tonight is revenues, go through the revenue projection. And then the senior center proposal for, oh gosh, tax work-off program. Chris, do you have everybody now?
Yes, everyone is here.
All right, let's do that and then we'll do revenues.
All right.
So go ahead if you have a.
All right. Well, first off, thank you for having us at this joint meeting of the Finance Committee and Select Board for the town of Deerfield. First off, I want to share a little bit about our group. So this is part of the Mass in Motion initiative. It's made up of nearly a dozen South County residents and older adults in Deerfield, Whately, and Sunderland. We work alongside the Franklin Regional Council of Governments. We've focused on issues such as transportation, food access, and most recently, tax work-off programs in the three towns. So we get our funding through Mass in Motion grant. And we've been really focusing on, promoting tax work-off programs in Deerfield, Whately, and Sunderland. Just get down to what we're proposing. First off, is we have a citizens petition moving forward with the required signatures. We haven't submitted it yet, but the proposal is a tax work-off program for older adults in Deerfield, age 60 and over, and or veterans. Veterans are not limited by age. How this would potentially work is funding for tax abatements could come from the overlay accounts. That's how many surrounding communities that I've researched on fund their tax work-off programs. I spoke to Holly Drake last week, and the balance for Deerfield is $121,378.77 for the town of Deerfield. What we're proposing is a maximum of $1,500 in tax abatement per household. That could lead to 10 positions maximum throughout the town, and the total cost could be potentially up to $15,000. The minimum wage as set by the state of Massachusetts is $15, so that could be a maximum of 100 hours for various positions. So how this works in a lot of the neighboring communities I spoke with, such as Conway, Greenfield, and Sunderland, is that it's basically like any other job, except this is tax abated. That's how they're receiving that funding. Each department can look at what they assess what they might need, and post a job search for these positions, and then you align the applicants with the skill set. That's what we've seen in a lot of the other neighboring communities. And I also just want to know, Senior Center Director Jennifer Ferrara has offered to have the Senior Center oversee this tax work-off program for Deerfield if needed. Typically, it's overseen by the town administrator's office, select board office, with assistance from the treasurer, collector, and assessors. Just how we got to those positions, 10 positions maximum that Deerfield potentially could have, is we looked at the surrounding communities. So Conway just approved their tax work-off program last year. They have 5 positions. Their population is 1,700 people. Greenfield has 20 positions. They've had it going for a number of years, I think well over a decade. They have over 17,000 people. in their community. Sunderland has also been doing this program for over a decade, 8 positions with a population of 13, with 3,600. So there's also income eligibility. Some of the neighboring communities have those listed as a requirement. So Conway's is $38,500 would be their annual income. For an individual, 43,800 for a couple. Whately also is currently exploring a tax work-off program. They are bringing that to a town meeting vote. One of the things we've done is we've worked with the Whately Associate Assessor Derek Gruder to provide information on the research that we've done in neighboring communities. And ultimately, their select board approved it and is moving forward with it as well. What they're proposing is $45,000 for an individual and $60,000 for a couple for their uh, income eligibility, and then a $1,200 tax abatement total. Um, so that's kind of giving you an overview of what some of the other communities are doing. I'll give you an examples of what kind of jobs that people are doing in their communities. I spoke to Becky Torres, the town administrator of Sunderland. There's 3 people in their tax work-off program as of last year. One person works in the town offices and one in the library, and then another helps during elections. I'm sure during busy election periods, you might have periods where each town department might need additional help with, uh, different projects, whether that's election season or if it's something busy during the period with athletics going on and registering for that. So those are just some examples of potential volunteer opportunities in terms of hours and assistance with the various departments. So in Greenfield, seniors are and veterans are able to have a $2,000 tax abatement. They have 20 positions throughout the city. Some of the positions are in the police department, fire department. There's 2 in the clerk's office, health department, library, inspections, as well as nearly a dozen in the council on aging. So that's kind of a broad overview of some of the projects that have been going on in Greenfield. In Conway, just this last year, I mentioned they have 3 people who have participated in this tax work-off program. One person scanned old town meeting minutes. Another created a new guide to Conway project. A third created signs indicating Conway is a right to farm community. And this year they're looking for positions to help fill with filing in the planning board's office. Their period usually goes from January 1st through September 30th. I asked Veronique Blanchard, the town administrator in Conway, what were the benefits of this program. And she said, well, first off, it's another way to help people who are on fixed income, our residents in Conway, she said. Um, and obviously in the town of Deerfield, there's a lot of projects moving forward. This might be an opportunity to help offset taxes for fixed income residents. And some of the drawbacks I asked Veronique about in Conway was in the first year was a little difficult finding job skills that matched what each department was looking for help with. That can be a challenge, but ultimately that was a challenge they overcame. And throughout this process, there's always every season, I imagine, different projects, which leads to different opportunities for older adults and veterans to help out their community while getting a tax abatement. Next, I would like to invite Denise Schwartz, a member from Deerfield from the Mass in Motion group. She is the petitioner for the citizens petition to speak. Denise will be joining momentarily.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. So I'm sharing John's computer here. So audio's on. I'm really interested in reframing aging. I'm on the Age-Friendly and Dementia-Friendly Communities Council at LifePath. And one of the things that we're doing is talking about this program because it does help reframe aging. It does put older adults out there in the community where they can be visible and they can be seen as people who have still a lot of value to add to their communities. I'm just going to really briefly talk about the social benefits of this program. I just have 5 things and I'll do it really quickly. So the first one is reduced isolation. Isolation is epidemic in this country, in this demographic, the demographic of older adults. Going out into the workplaces reduces isolation. And so then that leads to increased connection. And so for older adults in particular, being connected with new coworkers, new people, that's really important because they usually or often have smaller social groups and fewer opportunities to expand their connections. And these, by participating in this program, they can be out in a workplace and meet new people and expand their connections. Another really important part of it is that folks can continue to use skills and experiences that they've gained through a lifetime of work experience. That's really important. It leads to a feeling of being able to continue to contribute to your community in a really valuable way. Another important thing for the participants is that they can gain new skills, gaining new knowledge, gaining new skills, lifelong learning. That's important for all of us, but particularly for older adults. It's really important for brain health and keeping ourselves nimble and flexible in terms of our thinking. And also, these folks bring skills that perhaps people in the department where they work don't have. I'm thinking about Conway, where some people created the signage, I think it was for trails, you said, Chris, that some people in that department may not have had that experience. So they can also learn new skills, pretty important. And 5th, it's civic engagement. And probably we need that more now than ever. People who participate in this program, they learn how their towns work. They learn about how communities work. They learn more about government, and then they become better informed citizens. It's really important. Chris found out when he talked to the folks in Greenfield that, and some of the other communities who have this program, that a lot of folks who participate in the senior tax work-off program, after they reach their hours, that they're limited to a certain number of hours, after they reach those, they stay on as volunteers and continue to do the work. Greenfield said that, yeah, they had a participant in their program. That person stayed on afterwards, was a volunteer, and she became really interested in public service. And then she ran for office, and she's now the mayor of Greenfield. So it's a really important program for so many, in so many ways. Mostly, I like the idea that it helps reframe aging so that older adults are not just sitting home doing nothing. They're out in their communities, they're learning, and they're contributing to the community. And then just one thing, Chris also mentioned veterans. Even though we call it a senior tax work-off, it is open to veterans. And as he mentioned, there's no age requirement for veterans. So it's really nice to offer them something in exchange for everything that they've done for us. And that was really all I wanted to say. I'm in support of this program. It's something that I think helps Deerfield become known as an age-friendly community. I hope you guys support it too. If you have any questions, don't ask me, ask Chris. Thanks.
Thank you, Denise.
You're welcome.
Nicely said. Chris, do you have any other presentations or are you open to questions?
I'm open to questions, definitely.
So Is there a income limit on the one that's proposed for Deerfield?
We haven't listed an income limit. As it's written in the citizens petition, there's more options for town officials to implement whatever changes they decide. So if you want a income requirement, that's something you can ultimately
That the town could impose later?
yeah, we wanted it to be uh, open, so it would be a collaborative process, and we're not like limited to a very rigid criteria. The only limit we set in the citizens petition was the maximum tax abatement of $1,500.
So there's I'm going to get the verbiage wrong, but there is a program already in place that seniors can get tax abatements if they are income eligible for them. And that's just, there's no work required for that. Would that be in addition to this?
I don't
Could
know how.
the same person get both?
I think that's up to that would probably be something up to the town to decide. I don't see any reason why they couldn't get both potentially. But you know, as the petition is written, there's no mention of that other program. And so it's possible that they could get both. But I know as it's written, you know, as Massachusetts law states, it's one uh, household would get the tax abatement for the tax work-off program.
So like a couple couldn't each work.
No, they couldn't each work. If it's multiple people in a household, it's just that
A
household,
limit per
and
household.
there's different limits in terms of the income eligibility based on an individual versus a couple
Yeah.
or a
Yep.
household with more.
Okay. Jim, you have a question?
Yeah, two kind of related ones. So you said there's basically a limited number of slots for this. I think you were suggesting 10.
Yes.
So how do you prioritize if you get 11 applicants?
Well,
100?
other communities have done a lottery. I know the city of Springfield annually when they have that program, they have a lottery system in place. But most of the towns I've spoken with, Greenfield, all the neighboring communities, they haven't reached that maximum. So you might have 20 positions, but you might fill 18. No one has really reached that maximum yet. As far as I'm aware, in Sunderland, Greenfield, and Conway. But you know, the lottery system could be a potential option if just in place if you were to reach a maximum or
Mark, you
be
have a
on
question?
a maximum, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have a couple. The first is I know for all practical purposes, a lot of municipalities when they do this, they run it through payroll, issue W-2, do like the federal tax withholding, all that fun stuff. For a town that would have 10 of these workers, what would be the, I guess, estimated number of hours our town administrators would be spending on administering this program, like per month?
I'm not sure about the maximum number of hours behind the scenes. I know, you know, I mentioned in the presentation earlier, potentially the senior center could oversee this. That could be an option.
Can the
Um,
center run payroll though? I don't think that's true.
oh, no, not payroll. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Uh, uh, I don't know that, but I can find that out as and do some more research about how many hours it takes for these programs to do to have payroll.
Great.
Margaret, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
I've had the senior tax work-off program in all the towns that I've served, and Chris is absolutely right. Well, at least in the towns that I've served, and I know that other administrators have experienced this as well. Typically, you don't get a full complement of tax work-off volunteers in the program each year. The other thing that I've experienced is that when we have developed the senior tax work-off programs, we ask for job description type, basic job descriptions from departments looking for help from senior tax work-off participants. The other thing, Mark, is they don't get a paycheck. So they're not paid. This is actually a tax credit that they're going to receive. So it's going to involve the assessors, it's going to involve Holly, it's going to involve whoever is administering the program, if it's the senior center director or otherwise. But the departments actually have a say. They actually help build the structure of the program so that they can attract senior tax work-off participants who meet the qualifications of a position that they're looking for in their department. So it's my experience has been that it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, I know they're not getting a paycheck. I know that it's still
Okay.
we still have to treat them like employees. And I'm just curious what the administrative,
Oh, okay.
burden, but like how many administrative hours are we going to use per month to do this?
Yeah.
Seems like it should be negligible, but I'd want to confirm.
So you are correct, Mark. In the towns that I've worked there, and the town that I worked in as well, it is income to them, and they do need to get a W-2, and they do need to go through a payroll process. It's just a different payroll process because they're not actually getting a check mailed. That check is getting applied to their tax bill. So
Yeah.
it is income and it is a W-2, and it does need to go through a payroll process in my experience.
And I do believe we also need potentially workman's comp for them as well. Is that true?
I believe so. That's another question I can follow up to with some of the neighboring communities I've spoken with.
And then I have one more question, Julie, if I may.
Go ahead. Yeah.
There's two paths to getting these things onto the warrant. I'm just curious if the select board had considered the other path other than the citizens petition. What's the select board's opinion on this so far? And is it going to be considered for getting on the warrant directly by the select board, or is this going through a citizens petition because the select board either is neutral or it's going one way or the other?
From the select board's position so far, we're listening to this for the first time as you all are. So I think if the general consensus of the select board and the finance committee and those in town have a positive impact of it, we could certainly take it from a citizen's petition and put it on. But I think really it was kind of get the flavor of the town and see if everybody was interested in moving forward. Then we could, we wouldn't have to do a citizen's petition. We could just put it on the warrant. But really want to see what everyone else felt like and to hear it for ourselves as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So if there, does anybody else have questions? I have a couple. Go ahead, Jim.
I have one more as well. What happens if there is no match between what is needed by any of the town departments and what an applicant is capable of doing?
Then in most cases that position would not move forward, or they would probably try again in another round of putting that position out to bid, I guess, and as a posting. They could do another round of posting, or resubmit during another tax work-off season.
I mean, so the person who's applying, just too bad, sorry, nothing for you?
Much like any other position, it's aligning the skill set the required skill set with the job posting. So I think that would be up to the matter of like anyone hiring the hiring manager for this volunteer program to assess whether the skills line up or not. And in which case, like any other job, if the skills don't match, unfortunately, the candidate probably wouldn't be viable.
Okay.
So if we have 10 positions is what you're recommending. If we have 10 positions, is the town obligated to come up with 10 jobs?
Not at
Like,
all.
what if they can only find 3 things they need done this year?
No, the town is not required to fill all 10. 10 was the amount we came up with based on the populations of the surrounding towns and how many positions that they had for their programs. Greenfield has 20 positions, and obviously
Okay.
is a,
Yeah,
I,
you said.
yeah,
I get it. I'm with you.
gotcha.
All right. Any other questions, anybody?
I may have missed
Go
this.
ahead, Trevor.
Was there a dollar amount kind of figured in, like how long it would take somebody to work off at $1,500 or?
Oh yeah, it's the state minimum wage, so
I see.
that's $15 an hour, and if they went for the entire $1,500 tax abatement, that's 100 hours maximum.
Thank you.
And I should mention too, in other communities, volunteers have gone beyond those hours, knowing that they would no longer receive any tax abatements. They just do that because they want to.
Enjoy it. Yeah. Again, back to the loneliness and the connectivity is
Exactly.
that we were talking. Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks.
Tim.
This is a question for anyone, perhaps Margaret, perhaps um, somebody works 10 hours, the project takes 30, and they don't volunteer to finish the last 20 hours. What has your experience been with unfinished projects?
My experience has been that they just get paid for the hours that they worked because they do have to keep a timesheet. So my experience has been they get paid only for what they worked and the rest of the money stays on the table.
I
The
was
rest of
more
the credit,
thinking
I
about
should say.
the project itself. So if it's a project that we need help with, but it doesn't get finished, what happens? It's just not finished.
Just not finished. I mean, we haven't penalized participants for not finishing a project. In my experience, we haven't penalized participants for not finishing a project. They've only gotten paid for the hours that they've put in. Holly, I don't know if you've had any different experiences on your end.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I would say that we've had people who have had to leave simply because they could not work any longer and they were only paid for the hours that they paid. It wasn't so much a project specific job. It was, we've had folks um, opening mail and filing. And so that just falls back to the other folks to finish that project in the office. If I had somebody who came in and was, going to do a filing project for me and for some reason was not able to finish it, then it would fall back to us to finish those projects. And you're right, they would just be paid for the hours that they work. All the time is tracked. I've not experienced it.
And there's also, in my experience, there's also been no prohibition on getting someone else to come in and pick up where that person left off. So long as you stay within that, the hours and the total pay.
Beth, you have a question?
Yeah, I might have missed this, but when is the time frame for working? Say you're going to work the 100, say all 100 hours. What is the time frame, the season of that fits into?
Oh yeah, different communities set different ranges. For instance, the town of Sunderland has the federal fiscal year from October 1st through September 30th. That's just one example of like the time period people are working.
Go ahead, Mark.
Isn't there a statutory requirement to do this within the fiscal year of the tax bill? So, I know that for Sunderland, that would be a good reference community, but I
Mhm.
believe under MGL, it's the fiscal year of the tax bill is the start and stop time for that.
Okay. Sorry, I thought I was muted for a second. Yeah, I believe you might be correct. I'll have to double check about the town of Sunderland. Their tax work-off program had listed October 1st through September 30th, but you might be correct in that. So that's another question I'll be sure to get answered.
Yeah, they might be able to apply it to do two different tax years.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
I believe the way, at least from like an administrative perspective, it has to be within the fiscal years is when the timer starts and stops.
I don't know
Yeah.
why we couldn't just do it calendar year and then the W-2s would match. You wouldn't have to come out with two pay periods.
Mhm.
You just take the hours they work and deduct from their check and apply it to the real estate taxes. Just a simple payroll deduction.
So DLS has put out an IGR on the program, and I'll just share it. I'll send you a link. Send you all a link. You can just take a look at it at
Thanks.
your leisure.
Interesting. So the cost of the program, the max cost, the maximum tax abatement would be $15,000. And then on top of that would be the administrative cost of the treasurer's office doing the W-2s and the senior center administering, coming up with the projects and watching over the people and everything. Is that kind of
Yes, that is absolutely correct.
1,500 or 15,000?
15,000?
15,000.
15,000?
1,500 per person up to 10 people.
Okay, so the total would be 15,000. Got it. Now I understand.
I could see it be very beneficial, for some that are on fixed income and that still want to give back and have a set of skills. And I think it's a great idea. If it's affordable to the town, it seems like in that range it would be. We could usually swing that, and it does get people like others have said, maybe work longer, or offer to do more things, or get involved one way or the other. It's a great idea.
Philosophically, I approve of giving people opportunities to work something off rather than just giving them a handout. But as long as it's not this huge administrative burden that the town is, like spending more hours trying to come up with projects than actually getting work done. But it doesn't sound like that's the case. Any other questions or comments? Oh, Tim, go ahead.
One final, Chris Goudreau,
Mhm.
do you know of a community where somebody other than the town administrative team is in charge of these? Like, is this something that other senior centers do oversee?
Yes, the Greenfield COA helps oversee in conjunction with the let's see, I'm just double checking my notes from that. Yeah, so they oversee that along with HR, accounting, and the assessor's office.
Do Do we think it could extend to Deerfield Elementary? I know Frontier is obviously a different entity and district and all, but wondered if those jobs could be, if we talk with the school administration, would they be interested? I mean, there might be good uses of and good mix of seniors with kids, that kind of thing too.
Yeah, I think that's probably a possibility. All with all these postings, all the applicants have to have Cory checks.
Sure.
So that's part of the process. And it's open to all departments, and that probably would include the school system too.
Thank you.
Michael, go ahead.
I'll be brief. I just wanted to throw in that I've been doing home visits throughout Franklin County to elders for the last 30 years now as a public health nurse and as a home health care nurse. And the need is huge. The struggle, I'm not telling anybody here things that they don't know already, but the need is huge for a subset of the population who are struggling to stay in their own homes, never mind upgrading, repairs, and taking care of what they have already. So I know this is not new to anybody probably in this group, but I felt like I needed to say that. Thank you.
Thank you. Somebody else had their hand up and it went away.
That was me.
Whoever it was, that was you.
I was just stretching. Yep.
Oh, okay. Do you, this is an honest question. Is there any concern, like, say we have 10 jobs and we come up with 10 things? There are going to be people, there's going to be somebody who wants to do it, but doesn't have any of the skills required. Like, is there a concern that this isn't open to everybody kind of thing? I don't know how to word that properly. Do you see what I'm asking though?
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. I think to a small degree, I think it really depends on the job, and as most of the tax work-off programs, positions throughout departments, a lot of them are pretty accessible to most individuals, especially elders 60 and over. Um, the projects usually align with things that need to get done throughout different departments, like scanning town meeting minutes. So some of these might entail projects that could be where staff could be utilized better elsewhere, and this could free up staff in town hall to focus on more high priority or less time intrusive projects that could be viewed as like somewhat tedious. So it really depends on what the departments are looking for. I mean, as I've seen with so many of the surrounding towns, usually the jobs are pretty accessible to most people.
Okay, thanks. Tim, you
You're
have a
welcome.
question?
Sorry. Yeah, I was just curious. Are most of these jobs essentially administrative type, filing, or is there a job where a carpenter can build a cabinet or can paint a wall or paint a room?
Yeah, there's definitely been kind of a range of different projects. I know in Greenfield, they had people doing cleaning jobs, like for the COA, like Greenfield Mayor Ginny DeSorger was cleaning the COA before um, she became mayor, and was part of that tax work-off program. It really depends on what the skills that are being brought to the table. So I imagine like if you knew someone had that skill set, and you were in need, a department in need, why not utilize that unique skill set? If someone has background in carpentry and wanted to build a table, as part of their tax work-off program, if that's what a department might need, I mean, it's really what fits well, and then you can adapt that based on what the applicant's skills are.
Right, we'll do Margaret, then Rachel. Margaret, go
Okay,
ahead.
I completely agree with what Chris just said. I can recall using the volunteers to reshelve books at the library, to do some light landscaping and weeding and painting and light repairs around town buildings and cleaning. And so there's a whole array of jobs or tasks that could be given to the participants. And and also to Trevor's question about the schools, because I was just looking at the DLS site, and because the regional school district is separate, we would not be able to place people there. But the school is a department of the town, and people could be utilized there.
Great, thank you.
Rachel, you took your hand down.
I did, because Margaret covered what I was going to say.
Got it.
Thank you.
I can sort of see this becoming a venue just to advertise for volunteers and to sort of go both ways. So you could have, like, we advertise for the volunteers, we get 3 of the positions filled. We have 2 more people who maybe don't need the tax write-off but are interested in volunteering and come volunteer anyway. Or you could go the other way. You have somebody who wants to do something that says, hey, I'm a carpenter. Anybody need carpentry skills or something? So if you do that. Do you have the definition of a veteran? I should know this, but like, does it have to be somebody who did at least 20 years and retired, or is it anybody who served, or anybody who has?
It's anybody who served, myself included. It's anybody who has served. I'm a veteran. I served 6 years from 76 to 82. And yeah. Yep.
Yes. Well, thank you for your service. All right. We done? Anybody else have any questions? No? Okay, well, thank you so much for coming and presenting.
Yeah, and thank you all for your
interesting
time.
Discussion.
All right, thanks again.
Thank you.
All right. See you later. Okay, so the last thing on our agenda is the revenue discussion. I have it here and can share it. Holly, do you want to present anything?
Well, I can certainly do a quick review of them. I mean, unfortunately, it's still very early in the game. We don't have any numbers on state aid yet. We've done the typical with property taxes, so I'll just start at the top. We've done the typical with property taxes. We've gone up 2.5%. Did a just $120,000 of new growth is in this estimate right now. If folks recall, last year our new growth was only 68,000. I believe we'd been projecting about 150 for new growth, but with this year being so low and really nothing that we know of set in stone that's on the horizon for FY27, we're going with a pretty conservative new growth figure of 120,000. So, your first line is, again, your property taxes, 2.5% plus new growth. Right now, we do not have anything from the state, so we're just using last year's final figures. We certainly hope there'll be some changes to there in the near future, and hopefully it'll go up. So the governor's numbers typically are out about now, so hoping any day now. Maybe I missed an email. So then you go down to the overlay, and again, a pretty conservative number for overlay, $65,000. Local receipts. So local receipts, were bumped up considerably for FY26. Not super comfortable with doing stretching that a lot more at this point right now. Just made a couple of very small adjustments to local receipts. And I assume that's where some discussion will be later on. So, again, using the recap figures for FY26 and only adjusted a couple of things beyond that. And then if you go over to your next page, these are our other funding sources, funds that come in from different places. We are not proposing to use any overlay surplus at this point. The receipt reserve for debt is a balance of this year's premium that we will use towards our first debt payment next year. Right now, the three entities' administrative costs are still the same. We don't have enough data to exactly calculate those out for FY27 yet. Need some budget figures to do that, and we're not really set yet. The cemetery fund and the wetlands protection fund have both been depleted to the point where we probably will not be using anything for FY27. And if we do, it would be, less than what has been used in the past. I believe the Wetlands Protection Fund has been paying for the conservation agent, so that fund does not have a lot of money left in it right now. And then, the Dickinson Trust account coming in is just the interest that was earned in the prior fiscal year, and so that is all there is there. Right now, we're looking to, I would think you'd want to hold back at least $250,000 of free cash. So that number there is just basically an arbitrary number where we want to make sure that we have something on hand for an emergency that we could use during FY27. So that is the revenues in a nutshell. And you see that is just a $476,000 increase over the prior fiscal year. Hopefully we'll get some good state aid numbers. I see shaking heads and frowns, and I know. So it's going to be a difficult year.
Hey. Trevor, you have a question?
Just a report a little bit back. We went to MMA this week, and I sat in on most of the financial updates from DLS, and yes, it's going to be a tough year. Their revenue that is coming in is not dire. It's kind of where it where they were expecting, just around 2% or so. So it wasn't like they were losing a bunch of revenue, but it wasn't, it's not a gangbuster year at all. And the one thing I did notice that was interesting was, and when I looked at our motor vehicle excise, that was way down last year, or this current year. How much they're bringing in at the moment was kind of way down based on other years. It was just something that stood out to me, and so I just thought I would mention it as we always think about what we might get in and all. And of course, we're different than the rest of the state for sure. But just as a trend, I wanted to mention that. And if I can find the slides from that presentation, I'll link it to everyone so they can see, kind of what that was all about.
That'd be great. Thanks.
Sure.
Go ahead, Holly.
I'm sorry. Can I just ask Trevor to clarify? When you say it's way down from prior years, are you talking about the revenues on the current revenue sheet, or are you just talking in general?
No, they were like,
okay.
They were just talking in general, not our sheet or a cherry sheet or anything like that. It was just a matter of like discussion on, it just kind of stood out to me because it looked much lower than what the trend was. So I don't know why that is, but that's what it was.
I just wanted to point out that if anybody's looking at, and I hope that everybody on the finance committee already knows this one, but if you're looking at the revenues reports that we've sent out. As most folks know, the excise tax bills don't go out until we actually just got our commitment number one. Our large commitment just came in, so the tax collector's office will be getting those bills ready and getting those bills sent out. That revenue always comes in very late in the fiscal year. So if you look at our revenue report, it looks really low right now, but that's simply because that is always collected in this. The vast majority of it is collected in the spring. I just wanted to make sure that wasn't what you were speaking of.
No, thank you though. Thanks for pointing that out.
Thank you.
All right. Christopher.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the cherry sheets were released on Friday, late in the day. So
I did miss an email.
Yeah, well, I know we were at MMA, and I know, so everyone kind of was tuned into it, but it was very late in the day on Friday. So I'm going to download a copy and send it around to the committee just so everyone could take a look. Obviously, very preliminary, just the governor's numbers, and we still need the House and Senate and the reconciled numbers. But I will send that around.
Thank you. Tim.
Unmute. First, I wanted to ask a question that I don't know what the overlay district revenues are. Can someone explain that to me?
Holly, you want to do that?
The overlay.
It's not a revenue. It's money that you set aside for
right.
people who get abatements on their taxes.
Whatever overlay is.
Yes. So the overlay is the allowance for abatements and exemptions, and it is the money that sort of almost, I would say, kind of automatically comes off the top of the taxes. We know that certain people are eligible for exemptions and abatements, and we make an estimate of what that will, what amount that will reduce our taxes by. So that is that $65,000.
Okay. And the other question, this is more just to refresh my memory. Did we talk last year about assessing the conservation agent position and determining how we might fund it going forward?
Christopher, do you want to? I mean, I know that there is a proposal in the budget. There will be a proposal for the conservation agent, but in terms of how it would be funded, that's I think ongoing discussions.
Yeah, we kind of landed on doing a pilot using the Wetlands Protection Act funds, and so Pete Law did end up hiring someone, and he's been very pleased with the work of that individual, and now he has submitted a budget request from Concom to put that position in the operating budget, potentially sharing it with some other communities. So we're still talking about that as well, but that's where that stands currently.
I guess one other, back to overlay for a second. There's this line here is the overlay. That's the money set aside to cover that. This line here, overlay surplus. My understanding, and Holly can fix this when I'm done, is that money can build up year to year. And if you get like a lot left in their account, you can take some of it back to fund this year. So we did that in FY25, but that probably means there isn't a lot extra there now. Somebody had their hand up. Margaret?
It was me, and I had the same question, actually. We weren't on this page. I didn't know if we had any excess overlay from prior fiscal years that we could carry. So, no, all set.
Holly, you're up.
I mean, if you like, I can just very briefly speak to that. As Chris Goudreau just stated in his presentation, he gave me a buzz last week to see what the amount was in the overlay account, and we currently have about 121,000 and change in it. Real estate tax bills have just gone out. Abatements and exemptions are sort of just starting, so that has not been utilized much yet for this year. So there's not a large balance there. There's not a lot of money there currently, maybe about 2 years worth.
Is there a rule of thumb? Like, do you like to have 2 years worth in next door or something, or?
It sort of depends if you know of anything going on. I would say, and I hate to say this, but I would say in a year like this where values have changed significantly in for some folks, that it is a good idea to have a decent amount there. I don't think that we have a sort of rule of thumb, but what you need to do is you need to make sure that you have enough to cover basically outstanding receivables at year end. And I haven't looked at that, super closely here in Deerfield, but I would say that you just need to be careful that you have enough to cover basically what the state asks, that you have enough or close to enough to cover your outstanding receivables.
Any other questions on revenues? Nope. Okay. Next, I think that's everything for today. Last thing is schedule for upcoming. Oh, John, go ahead.
We spent time talking about the tax write-off program. I would like the finance committee to vote on it, whether we stand for it or against it.
So it will come to, I'll say this and then you can argue with me. It will come to us as a warrant article on the warrant. Right now, we don't have we don't have in writing what the proposal actually is. We just sort of
Uh-oh.
I mean, I wrote some. Are you okay with that? I feel like I'm glitching. Did you guys hear what I just said?
We only heard the
Yes.
beginning.
So I'd like to see it in writing once they give us the actual, like, what they've written and submitted as a petition before we vote. And it will come to as a warrant article.
Okay, I just would like it to support it being on the warrant then. If we need to do that.
Okay.
You need to make, somebody needs to make a motion.
Can I make a motion
Yeah.
to that we vote on the tax overlay program?
So you're making a motion that we recommend that it be put on the warrant? Is that what you're saying?
No, making a motion that we vote on it, whether we support it or not.
Moving to endorse it.
Yeah, moving to endorse it or not endorse
Or
it.
recommend it or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Do
I'll
we have a
second
second?
that for discussion.
Okay. Mark, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I'd like to see what the select board wants to do with it first. Personally, like, I think it would be good if the select board can add it to the warrant. And, if there's a citizen's petition, fine, but I think it's stronger coming from the select board as like a citizen, when I see those. So I would almost want to hold off until we see whether or not the select board picks it up.
I have to disagree with that. I don't think we should be voting based on what the select board wants to do.
Isn't that wait a second. Don't we vote on every one of the select board's warrant articles? I think that is our job. I'm just saying that, like, I think it's premature. And if the select board decides to add it to the warrant and it doesn't have to be added to the warrant as a citizen's petition, I would, rather wait to see if that happens. And if that does happen, I think that, personally, not sure if anyone agrees or disagrees, but I think that personally carries more weight than the citizens petitions do anyway. So that's why I'm saying I think it's kind of premature. I want to see if the select board picks it up first.
If only we could ask them.
Tim, go ahead. You have your hand up.
Yeah, so great news is that it only takes 10 signatures to get it on a citizen's petition. But I think if I'm reading Trevor correctly and knowing how I feel, I think that we should put it on the warrant. But I agree with Julie also. I'd like to see what the proposal says before, making a commitment to doing something. So, but that's just me. Trevor can speak for himself. But I think it's for all the reasons that were stated, financial and social, it's something I would support.
I mean, I'm just
Margaret,
asking
go ahead.
I'm just asking for a vote whether we support it or not. That's all.
Well, yeah, as you say, you're going to get a chance to, if it's on the warrant, you get to vote to support it. So you're sort of putting the cart before the horse. But
Margaret, you have your hand up.
As I said before, I support the concept of it. I think it's a win-win for everyone. However, our job is to evaluate the financials. So we need to know, what rate of pay participants are going to get, how many participants are going to be included in the program, what the program's parameters are. So I think we need to educate ourselves before we can make a financial recommendation.
Okay. Trevor?
I do think like there's some more work to get fleshed out here a little bit, and we'll see what a warrant article looks like and kind of put that together. I think it would if the consensus is that something like this would be supported, that we would I would like to see it come from the select board, put it on the warrant so that the finance committee could evaluate too, and lend some advice and adjustments as needed, as they normally do, and then it would bring more weight to the article, I think, than just a citizen's petition. So I think some work needs to get done, flush it out a little bit further, get the facts in there, how many people, how long, when do we do it, what's this calendar, and then we'll get it on the warrant and the people decide.
Beth, did you have something or?
I think I was saying basically going to say the same thing that Trevor said. What the idea that coming from the select board, I felt like the details might fit the town's needs better than sometimes when the citizens petitions come in, the wording, there's just like this or things are off. So I was thinking it was better coming from the select board.
So I'm unclear about what the motion is that we're voting on. So we're not voting on a specific article because we don't have an article written in front of us. We are, what is it? What are we voting on?
We're voting whether to endorse the program or not.
Okay. So, yeah. Go ahead, Jim.
May I make
don't we
an
just-
amendment?
Yeah.
I move to amend the motion to add the term in principle, so that we are endorsing it in principle.
I like that.
In other words, we like the idea, but we don't have any details, so we're not going to give it a blank check.
Do we have a second for the recommendation for the
I'll
amendment?
second that. It sounds good.
Okay. Mark, you've got something?
Might be a little too late here, but I was going to recommend that we amend it to, instead of simply endorsing, maybe asking that the select board consider taking up an article for this.
Okay. Let's go back to, I think the way we're supposed to do this is we have a motion to amend, so we're supposed to talk about the amendment. So let's talk about that and then we'll come back to you. So any discussion about the amendment to endorse it in principle? No. Okay. We are voting only on the amendment. All those in favor of the amendment, I've lost my list. Jim,
James Cambias, aye.
John,
John Pereski, aye.
Beth,
Beth Brown, aye.
Margaret,
Margaret Nardowitz, aye.
Mark,
Mark Brennan, no.
Julie, yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 5-0, no, 5-1-0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-1-0 to amend it. So now the motion says we approve of it in principle. So Mark, do you want to amend?
Yes, please. I would like to make an amendment to see if we could move that the Finance Committee recommend that the Select Board consider this program for a Select Board warrant article.
I'll second that.
Okay. So if we vote yes on this, we are saying the Finance Committee wants the Select Board to put it on the warrant in some form, right? Is that what you said?
Consider it, I guess. Yeah.
Consider it. Okay.
I'm going to point out that that's more than an amendment. That's a whole separate motion.
I'm happy to make a separate motion for that. I guess
Let me get out my Robert's Rules book here.
yeah.
Julie, the minutes will reflect that the Finance Committee supported by a vote of 5-1-0 to support the program.
No, because we haven't voted on it yet. That was just
Oh, that
we
was just
voted
okay. Yes.
on the
Okay. Yeah.
amendment,
Yeah. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess, Julie, you're the chair. Do you think that this is substantially different and would require a different motion? If it is, I would kindly ask that John would.
I don't. I think that
Okay.
that can be read as an amendment. So if the amendment doesn't pass, then the Finance Committee is endorsing the concept of a tax write-off, tax work-off program in principle. If the amendment passes, the Finance Committee is requesting that the Select Board consider a tax write-off program. Does that clearly, that buys into what you said, Mark?
It does.
Okay. Go ahead, John.
I say no. On Mark's.
You don't agree with his? Okay.
Anyone second Mark's petition? Mark's amendment?
Somebody did. Margaret did. Any further discussion on the amendment?
I have a question. Are we
Go ahead.
gonna be vote? What are we voting on now? When you finish telling us that we don't have a discussion.
So we are gonna vote. Mark has recommended. Oh, am I glitched out again?
No, you're good.
I'm not.
Hear you.
Somebody's still moving. Okay. My internet has been very shaky.
Me too.
I don't know where we were. So what is on the table right now is an amendment that says if changes the question from do we endorse the concept in principle to do we ask the Select Board to consider the concept? So we will then vote on that amendment. If it passes, then we will vote on actually asking the Select Board to consider it. If it doesn't pass, then we will vote saying we endorse the concept. You guys with me? Everybody's with me. Any discussion? John, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I think they're two different issues. We can ask the Select Board to put it on the warrant, and we can also endorse it or not endorse it. Sorry.
Mark.
My intent here was to make a strong endorsement. So I would also consider saying that we endorse it enough, we endorse it, and we would like the select board to consider it. I guess that's where I'm
That's
from.
good.
Okay, so are you withdrawing your amendment?
May I modify it?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
I said yes, yes. Are you modifying it?
Yeah. Sorry. I would like to modify it to say that the finance committee supports this or endorses whatever John's original verb was there, and that we would like to have the select board consider it for a warrant article.
Second.
Okay. Everybody know what we're voting on. All right. All those in favor, Jim?
Right.
We are voting
in
on the
favor of
amendment.
modification. I'm voting in favor of Mr. Brennan's modified amendment to the motion. In favor. Aye.
I apologize. I've been sharing this whole time. We couldn't look at each other. Jim, go ahead. You voted yes. Okay.
Yes, I'm voting aye in favor of the modified amendment to the motion.
Right. John Poreski.
Aye.
Beth Brown.
Aye.
Margaret Nardowitz.
Margaret Nardowitz, aye.
Did I lose somebody? Who did I skip?
Me, Mark Brennan, aye.
Mark. Julie Chauvin, aye. Okay. So the amendment has passed. We are now voting on the motion, which is we endorse the concept and we want the select board to think about it.
We endorse the concept in principle.
In principle, and want the select board to consider putting it on the warrant. That's an accurate, everybody's happy with that statement? Yes. Okay. Any discussion? Jim Cambias.
Cambias, aye to the amended motion.
John Poreski.
John Poreski, aye.
Beth Brown.
Beth Brown, aye.
Margaret Nardowitz.
Margaret, aye.
Mark Brennan.
Mark Brennan, aye.
Yeah, sure. Julie Chauvin, aye. That passes unanimous. Okay.
All right, we hear you. Here's something out. Bring it back to you.
Alrighty. Last thing I wanted to do was put up we meet next Monday, February 2nd at 5 p.m. because the instead of 5:30 because the planning board starts at I don't know what 6:30. The following Monday is February 9th that we're supposed to have a finance committee at 5:30. That's that Franklin Tech presentation it's a GCC, I think. About their new building, their new $236 million building. That I would really like to go to that presentation and hear that discussion. It's then, and then there's another one May 5th or something, which feels a little late for the discussion. If we don't, so that's February 9th. Tuesday the 10th is the Frontier budget discussion. A reminder, this is the opportunity to hear what they have to say early on. They will have a Frontier budget public hearing in March 3rd. That's the opportunity to ask questions. They will not be coming to finance committee. So if we have questions for them, we have to go to one of these two meetings to get our answers from Frontier.
What
Yes,
time
with
is the
that,
meeting on the 10th? I'm sorry.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Right.
at Frontier in the media library thing. Then the 16th is a holiday, so we would not meet again until the 23rd. Do you guys want to try and have another meeting in here somewhere, or do we want to just go Franklin Tech, Frontier, Deerfield Elementary, and then come back on the 23rd?
That works for me, but no more schools after that.
run out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That works for me.
I'm a little worried that we're wasting all of February. Go ahead, Tim.
I'm just clarifying on the 9th of February. It says FinCom or Franklin Tech.
Yeah, so if we decide to all go to this Franklin Tech presentation on their new building, then we won't have a FinCom meeting because we'll all be somewhere else doing something else.
And that's the second part of my question is that going to be at Franklin Tech?
GCC.
GCC. Thank you. Because that's definitely something I'm interested in.
Yeah. I went to the first one. It was, it just seems to keep growing in number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a huge impact. This
It's a
is
huge
like
impact.
$400,000 a year
Yeah.
for 30 years for us.
Yep.
I'm interested in going to that. I would like to go to that. I want to hear early on.
Could I have
Yeah, me too. Okay, so we are
correction?
definitely going to, I'm going to not post a meeting on February 9th. We will, whoever wants to, go off to GCC and listen to what they have to say. Next Tuesday, when we're all in person together, I'll look at my schedule, y'all look at your schedules too, and be prepared to look at February and see if there's another day when we can work a finance committee meeting in at some point.
DES is, would that be Thursday the 18th, right? Unless I'm on the wrong year.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So I was thinking they wouldn't do one on Friday. So it must be a Thursday. Okay. That's
It's
the
a Thursday.
Yep.
I might have the wrong date written down.
I think it's the 18th then. Yep.
The 18th
Okay.
is a Wednesday.
The what?
The 18th is a Wednesday.
I've got to be in the wrong year then. Hang on a sec.
February 19th is a Thursday.
Oh, okay. Got it. I've been putting stuff in the wrong year. Sorry. Oh, you all set for next year. We're good. Already planning next year's times.
Okay. That's enough talking about schedule, I think. I will add this to the agenda next time we meet. So the next agenda you get will have all this stuff on it. Next time we come, just come prepared with your calendars so that we can pick another day for our finance committee meetings if we can get one more in February. Because I'm a little worried about waiting until the end of February. Go ahead, Beth.
I can't remember. Does it matter if a bunch of us go to the Franklin Tech? Does it have to, as long as we don't chat with each other, or does it matter?
Exactly.
Just don't talk to
as
each
long
other?
as we don't deliberate, we're okay.
Okay.
We can ask questions to them. We just can't talk as a group and come up with some sort of plan.
Okay.
Right? Did I accurately portray that? Anybody who does this for a living? Yeah. Okay. I think that's it. Anything else anybody wants to talk about? Oh, wait, Holly.
Yeah,
you're up.
I'm just going to very quickly let you folks all know. I would have been printing budget books today had I been at work, but I was instead shoveling out 20 inches of snow. So I expect to have the budget books printed by, I would say, Thursday. So if anybody wanted to pick them up before the meeting next Monday, I will pop an email out to everybody, just letting you know when they are ready. We'll basically have 90% of it, basically everything but the schools. We do not have any school figures, any school numbers at this point, but I will have the budget books ready likely by Thursday, and I will pop out a quick email to all the finance committee and select board members. So if you wanted to pick it up before next week to start taking a look at it, you will have that opportunity. And I will be working on the schedule of once folks are coming in this week as well. So by Monday night, we will know that, and we will likely have some presentations Monday night, probably mostly me and Christopher, but we will have, we will begin next Monday night.
Thank you, Holly.
Yeah. How soon can we do healthcare? Can we do healthcare on Monday?
I do not believe, Christopher, I do not believe we actually have hard
We don't have a number from them
numbers
yet.
yet. I think
Okay.
we're still working on estimates. I think we're still working off of an estimate. I don't think we'll have any real numbers yet.
Okay. Alrighty. So much for that.
Deerfield
Tim, go for it.
administrator here, but eating. Chris.
Could you,
Yeah, nobody changed that.
not eating, could you possibly send your list that you were just showing of meetings? Because I think I got a little behind. Thank you.
This is neither here nor there, but Julie, I have to leave at 6 o'clock next Monday night. So hopefully we have more than a quorum and you can continue moving along.
Okay.
Thanks.
If you have a quorum, you can lose it and still conduct business.
Was February 19th, was that the DES?
That's what I was asking about too, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
I'll send this full list to everybody.
Thank you.
I'm going to send the list. Margaret's going to send the DLS thing.
I've done that.
Yes.
There was something else somebody was going to send, but I
emailed
Trevor
those
was gonna
slides that I had. Not every speaker had slides, so I just sent whatever was there.
Okay. I think that was it.
Great.
And Holly's going to make us all budget books that we can pick up next Friday.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Are we good?
Yep. Tim, we didn't have a meeting open, right? We can just.
We did.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Holly has one more thing.
I was just going to say, I can't actually see the whole attendees list, but did you guys do public comment? Is there any public even there? Okay.
I don't see any.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Yep. Motion to adjourn?
Did.
You just did. I seconded.
Oh, beautiful. My internet went unstable again. So, great. Roll call, Jim.
James Cambias, aye.
Julie Chalfant, aye. John Pereski.
John Pereski, aye.
Beth Brown.
Beth Brown, aye.
Margaret.
Margaret Nardowitz, aye.
Mark.
Mark Brennan, aye.
We're adjourned at 7:16 p.m.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Motion to join the select board.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Tim Hilge, aye.
Trevor McDaniel, aye. Thank you all. Have a good night.
Good night.
Night, guys.